And here is Nicolas from Integra Audio bringing you a demo of the Glue plugin by Cytomic. This plugin emulates the SSL bus compressor with a couple of additional features. But before we get started, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and hit that bell button so you can get notified for future videos. If you find the information useful, it will really help the channel. Now let's go ahead and try the glue on a drum and bass track. I have this project that I'm currently working on, and I would like to spice it up a bit, controlling dynamics and shaping transients. Let's start with the drums. Let's go ahead and try some of the presets for drums that this glue compressor has. Let's go ahead and choose this Bonzo's room. We'll hear the signal without processing. Pretty straight groove going on. Now we'll engage the compressor. I really like this kind of subtle saturation that the compressor adds when it hits the limit, when it hits the big limits. And also notice that I've also noticed that messing around with the range and dry wet lets you control with more precision not only the dynamics but also the transients, especially in this kind of drums. Let's go ahead and dial the threshold up again so we got a pre-compressed signal. You can hear how with this range knob we can control the transients. They pop out a little bit more when the dial is close to 0. We have this pretty nice A and B kind of preset, so we can compare a preset with another. We also get this high pass filter in order to activate the compressor with more upper frequencies instead of the lowers. I really like clipping the signal to get this extra flavor, this kind of analog flavor to the signal. So let's move on to a different preset. Very nice tone. I really like this glue compressor. Especially when we try to glue different kind of drum tracks into the same group. As you can see right here, I have my main drums in a drum rack, and then different kind of drum samples, such as the aim and break, a sample from a drummer, and different kind of fills. And when they all sound together with a glue compressor, it kind of glues them all together, so it's pretty nice. can compress by having a faster attack and then dialing the range close to 0, so we can have a pretty compressed signal, but also
now
keep
let's
a little
hear
bit
the
of the
bass we're about
dynamics
to
to it.
process.
Pretty standard. I'll engage now the glue. Nice. You can see how we can control the bass, the sub-low frequencies by doing a parallel compression. Pretty nice. I think it glues all together pretty well. Let's go ahead and try some of the bass tones. I think they are, of course, as you can see right here, like funky pick and picking and so on. They are designed for well, electric bass, like for bands and so on. But it could be fun. Let's go ahead. Now let's compare all the two presets. Well, I think I need to control a little bit more the bass and especially the sub-low frequencies in this bass. But I think it sounds pretty nice because, well, as I've said before in the drums, I have different layers for this bass, and well, they all glue pretty nice when they sound together in the glue compressor. Now let's hear it in the context.
It's fresh to death, can't F with the head. Since Cody dropped drums, we've been blazing a path. Since 20 years past, still making a mark. Keep it true to the roots, still state of the art. This is real music, coming straight from the heart.
Okay.
Represent 110% and no less. 365 till we die with no rest, yeah. Check the flats, can reset the trend. Always fresh to death, can't F with the head. Since Cody dropped drums, we've been blazing a path. Since 20 years past, still making a mark.
I think it sounds really nice. I like how this this unit adds this kind of a little bit of analog flavor to the signal. I don't think I would use it like a lot in the bass, just a little bit to control and glue all together. But I think in the drums we get a pretty nice tight distortion, but very, very soft. Finally, we can start trying this compressor in the vocals. Let's hear how this sounds. This is the vocals without the compressor.
Represent 110% and no less. 365 till we die with no rest, yeah. Check the flats, can reset the trend. Always fresh to death, can't F with the head. Since Cody dropped drums, we've been blazing a path. Since 20 years past, still making a mark.
Now let's engage the compressor.
Represent 110% and no less. 365 till we die with no rest, yeah. Check the flats, can reset the trend. Always fresh to death, can't F with the head. Since Cody dropped drums, we've been blazing a path. Since 20 years past, still making a mark. Keep it true to the roots, still state of the art. This is real music, coming straight from the heart.
Let's go ahead and try some of the vocal presets. They were pretty nice because they kind of accentuate the different parts of the higher parts of the frequency spectrum. Let's go ahead and try this one, air in the front.
Represent 110% and no less.
You can hear that the sibilance is pretty enhanced in this one.
Represent 110% and no less. 365 till we die with no rest, yeah. Check the flats, can reset the trend. Always fresh to death, can't F with the head. Since represent 110% and no less. 365 till we die with no rest, yeah. Check the flats, can reset the trend. Always fresh to death, can't F with the head. Since Cody dropped drums, we've been blazing a path.
Now let's go ahead and try to push the limits to get that of that analog flavor of this unit. Let's go ahead and keep these pretty compressed.
Represent 110% and no less. 365 till we die with no rest, yeah. Check the flats.
Let me just turn off a little bit the signal.
Represent 110% and no less.
Just a little bit more. -12 would be okay.
Represent 110% and no less. 365 till we die with no rest, yeah. Check the flats, can reset the trend. Always fresh to death, can't F with the head.
You can see how in this full mode, I mean, when you get the dial near to the full, we get this more really compressed and controlled dynamics. But when we get close to zero, of course, we start getting. We still have the compressed signal, but we don't have this kind of crunchiness.
Represent 110% and no less. 365 till we die with no rest, yeah. Represent one.
Let's go ahead and try another one.
Represent 110% and no less. 365 till we die with no rest, yeah. Check the flats, can reset the trend. Always fresh to death, can't F with the head.
Let's go ahead and hear this one in the mix.
Represent 110% and no less. 365 till we die with no rest, yeah. Check the flats, can reset the trend. Always fresh to death, can't F with the head. Since Cody dropped drums, we've been blazing a path. Since 20 years past, still making a mark. Keep it true to the roots, still state of the art. This is real music, coming straight from the heart.
Really nice. As I've said, I really like the tone of this glue compressor. But I really like this one in the drums to get kind of a mix bus. I think it would be really cool in a mix box actually, or in a group, or as a sound effect. But in vocals, I will choose to using a different kind of compressor, something that is more crystalline and has a more defined way to deal with the transients. But I think overall it's a really great plugin. I really like this one, the addition of this range knob. So in addition to this with the dry and wet knob, you can really get critical when it comes to dynamics in the drums and the bass. So this was the review for the glue compressor by Cytomic for Integra Audio. Again, if you really like the video, I would really appreciate you to subscribing to the channel, liking the video, hitting that bell button so you can get notified for future videos. I will see you again the next time.